Okay, we've talked about religious reasons for settling colonies. We've talked about King Philip's War. We want to talk about now, after this comma, the establishment of town meetings and the development of a legislature. And let's remember that this is in describing the settlement of New England. So what we're going to describe is the establishment of town meetings and the development of the legislature in New England. And our main focus again is describe the settlement of New England. And then now we are on number 3 here. And our theme here is government. And again, we can find and we relate back to A, Substandard A, with the southern colonies to the Virginia House of Burgesses. All right. Town hall meetings were basically an example of direct democracy within the colonies. When the Europeans come over, they brought with them these ideas about democracy. The first one established that was a direct democracy, or example of one, was town hall meetings in New England. People would come together in a building and they would vote. Each individual person would vote on a law. Now, women were not given the right to vote. Well, it was somewhat undemocratic then, but over time, throughout U.S. history, we're going to see that women will get a chance to vote. Men mostly voted in these town hall meetings, voted on things like taxes. The taxes that were collected, what would they be used for? And in town hall meetings, we use quotes by Thomas Jefferson, where he says that the wisest invention ever devised by the wit of man for the perfect exercise of self-government was the preservation of the New England town meetings. And he believed that these town meetings were a promising step toward genuine self-government, where the people get to govern over themselves directly, not indirectly as in the Virginia House of Burgesses, like in Jamestown, Virginia. The best school of political liberty the world ever saw was the New England town meetings, attributed to Thomas Jefferson. As an example, we look to the left over here. This is an example of what we're talking about when we say direct democracy or town meetings. People come together, every individual within the old schoolhouse or church, wherever they're holding these town meetings, vote on every bill, vote on every issue individually and directly. That's what we call a direct democracy. And that's exactly what a town hall meeting was. That type of direct democracy over here on the left. To truly understand the direct democracy, we're going to flip this around like we did in A. House of Burgesses was the example of a representative democracy, meaning that people didn't directly vote themselves on a bill. They would actually go to the polls and elect someone to represent them, or a number of them, and they would go to the legislature, and then these representatives would vote the way they felt the people wanted them to vote. So where the Virginia House of Burgesses is an example of representative democracy, we see the town hall meetings as an example of direct democracy. And that compare and contrast helps us understand both. Theme here again is colonial governments, and democracy in this case with town hall meetings is direct democracy. And let's do this compare and contrast again. Our focus over here on New England, with both Virginia and in New England, both are legislatures, lawmaking bodies, make law for the people. In Virginia, it was House of Burgesses. In New England, town hall meetings. The difference is in these two in the middle. Okay. In Virginia, we had elected representatives. In New England, we have civic participation by every individual citizen. Virginia was a representative democracy. New England, a direct democracy. And again, here's our visual we used before to explain New England town meetings as opposed to Virginia House of Burgesses in a representative democracy. Alright, I hope that helps. I hope rehashing this and revisiting help you understand the difference between the two. And on the test, maybe you can keep those two different by looking at a map. If we look here at Virginia, we look back at the southern colonies. If we could look at New England, let's remember to flip back to our map of New England, and let's say that here, this is where the direct democracy was. Here in New England, here's where the town hall meetings were held. And so we see this map here, and let's associate that with town hall meetings. Okay, all right.